prostrations to the all-pervading Brahman, to our worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayanand Ji Maharaj, to all sages and saints, all our holy scriptures, all the divine energies, and to the divinity in every one of you, our humble prostrations. We are all blessed to be in this holy ashram of our Pujya Gurudev, our worshipful Gurudev, Swami Jyotirmayananda. We are in this beautiful satsang hall where Swamiji's energy permeates in every atom. He has been giving lectures for the past 60, 70 years over here since 1969. So a long time, and we can feel the blessings of his divine energy. And we are blessed to have these sadhaks here, and Swami Divyananda and Rohit and the family from Richmond, Virginia, and Sri Ramji and Rekhaji. Thank you for all your love and compassion, and with Hanuman-like seva, with Mata, and everything you have done is phenomenal for all of us. May Gurudev's blessings be upon you and upon Ramji, Pushpaji, Kalpanaji, Divyanandaji, Swami Lalita Priyanandaji, and all devotees who are connected, and the entire universe. When Swamiji says we give blessings, we include everybody. May the sickness be healed. May people find peace, happiness. May hunger go away. May thirst be cured. Whatever, if somebody is looking for a job, may they find jobs through our prayers. And today is a holy, auspicious day. Today is Shankracharya Jayanti. It's a very precious day. It does not, there's a lot of energy in the Shankracharya tradition, and that is why we are all decided to take a little time to do this satsanga together, and our humble prostrations to Adi Sankaracharya Ji. Because of him, Sanatana Dharma is where it is today. Because of him, the sannyasi tradition is alive, and there are 10 Dashnami sannyasis with 4 paths, Joshi Math and Shringeri Math and Dwarka, and all these beautiful things that Shankaracharya Ji has done. So I'm thinking we can discuss a few things, and then if you have any questions, we will ask also. But this is Swami Shivananda Ji's own writing, just like our Gurudev sends his writing. So this is, we are invoking our Param Guru today also, because he was also deeply into all these pujas of saints and what he believes. He says, beloved mumukshus, meaning not average people. Somebody who wants to attain liberation becomes a mumukshu. Otherwise, we are like worms, animals. We may be rich, we may be living in 5-star, 7-star hotels, lots of money, big homes, cars. But what happens? We die, not even a broken needle can go with you. So we have to get adjusted to everything in this life now and connect to God. So the bliss is so powerful. And Mokshu is one who only wants God. And in God, hathi ke pav mein sabka pav. On an elephant's foot, everything is included automatically. So we should pray for that. All else will be added unto you. Because otherwise we may have money, but we are always insecure. Chori nahi ho jaye, nikal nahi jaye, job nahi chhoot jaye. All those things, one thing falls apart and our lives fall apart. But if you have this Shakti, then you may have nothing. You may be like Sudama. We saw that today. And yet you are so fulfilled, so blessed, so happy. And so that is what it is. He says, beloved mokshus, constant study of the lives of saints will enable you to lead a saintly life. So we can all do that, whether we are a householder or not, whether we are at home or somewhere else, lead a saintly life. This was your first exposure to saintly life, in living humbly, and Pushpaji's intense desire to be here, that she was willing to sleep on the floor also, having big homes. So this is what it is. Start the process now and be very adjustable. Jahan par bhi mauka mile. Don't complain, oh this is not good or this is uncomfortable. Be comfortable. Enjoy where you are. When you are in India, praise India. When you are in America, praise America. Don't miss each other. Don't talk about wahan aise hota hai, yahan aise hota hai. You are here now, so do the things that will help the whole universe. And your money, your resources are useless if they don't help somebody else. They are useless. What will happen? Another house, another this, another that, and it's all wasted away. But when you do something, you feed a homeless, you wipe somebody's tear, you help somebody. That is the true purpose. So that's what saints do. That's a saintly life. When Swamiji says to lead a saintly life, it is to be compassionate, giving, kind, and you don't even need to be a saint for that. You can be a householder. So you will imbibe their noble qualities. Why? Because when we come in the aura of sages and saints, one lit candle will continue to light other candles, as we say, and so let us light each candle one at a time and slowly enjoy the rasa, meaning bhakti and devotion, and all these will come automatically. You don't have to build them. If you are doing the right things, you are serving somebody, volunteering with kids, anything jo nishkam seva, what we call nishkam seva, meaning don't expect anything in return. Do it and thank the person who has given you an opportunity to help him. You will be gradually molded in the spiritual path. Gradually, धीरे धीरे हम उसी मार्ग पे आ ही जाएंगे जो फिर हमारी वृत्ति बदल जाएगी. Our वृत्ति means our thought waves will change and we will constantly change. You will draw inspiration from them. स्वाभाविक है. Now, just looking at these enlightened people in their eyes, getting the blessings and so much interaction is not an ordinary thing. Like Swami Nikhilananda was just saying, just us coming to this holy ground, for her to make this trip from India and for all of you to come from far away, is not a joke. You have prepared for it in many lives. कई जन्मों का आपका तपस्या है, but you cannot see it. You do not know all the good things you have done. That's why you have been given good kids, good houses, good comfortable resources, so you can become tools to help the world and also help your own evolution. There is no me, there is no I in spirituality. It is all us together, and it is everybody. So we cannot just pray for मेरे बच्चे का ठीक हो जाए, मेरा कल्याण हो जाए. अगर हम ऐसा सोचते हैं तो we are far away from spirituality. We can never say God just help me or me and mine. No, we are all one. So this will be an inner urge in you to attempt for God. There will be. So slowly क्या होगा, जैसे जैसे ये करेंगे आपकी भक्ति बढ़ती जाएगी. You don't have to ask for it, and you are exactly on the right path. I was talking to Pushpa ji yesterday. She is listening to Bhagavatam and all the Zoom sessions you are doing, Sri Ram ji, music you are learning, and Swami Nikhilananda ji is passing on this knowledge. So we are all little lamps, छोटे छोटे हम दीपक हैं जो जला रहे हैं, and we don't expect to do big things also. जो हो जाए, patram pushpam phalam toyam. But if God has given you more energy and you have more time, then do what you are doing. Your Gita Gyan group, your Bhakti group, Bhajan group, your discourses, and everything you are doing is inspiration comes from within. So, for God realization, inner urge will come for God realization. मतलब ऐसा समय आ जाएगा कि जब भगवान की इच्छा आपके अंदर जब जागृत हो जाती है, then that is the highest blessing you can get from any guru, because now your life will flow like a river trying to merge into the ocean. क्योंकि ultimately सभी को वही करना है. But if we complain, or if we are frustrated, or if we get lost in Maya, then we deviate from the path, and then it will take more time to come back. So this is a big blessing. So Swamiji has said a book which treads of the lives of saint is a constant companion and priceless treasure for you. So this is why I like it, because it has every saint here, and it helps us also because to see what the struggles they have gone through. ये saint बनना easy नहीं है, गृहस्थ जीना भी easy नहीं है. It takes time, it takes effort. So like anything, if we do this properly, that will help us a great deal. So with this, today on this auspicious day, let us say Om Shri Shankracharya Namaha. Om Shri Shankracharya Namaha. Om Shri Shankracharya Namaha. तो बहुत ऊंची स्थिति के थे. हमारे तो जबान में भी इतना शक्ति नहीं है. We don't even have the power to even, how can we show? We are a small candle showing light to the sun, है ना? जैसे सूर्य को हम छोटा सा दिया दिखाते हैं. But still, that's all we have, and we pray to Shankracharya ji today for enlightenment, for leading a pure, holy, powerful life and becoming instruments in his divine plan, because Shankaracharya ji was the perfect example of what should be done. He would always say Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaivana Para, meaning Brahman is the only truth. All this we are seeing is like a dream. ये भी ड्रीम है, जैसे आप बोलते हो हमें समझ नहीं आ रहा क्या होगा. It's a dream, and then the dream will turn into another dream and another dream, and we eventually, so we have to break that dream of this reality. It's a perception, but जीवो ब्रह्मैवना परा मतलब हम और ब्रह्म एक ही हैं, उसी content है के बने हैं. We are part of the same good tradition, family, everything. So he says, if you understand that, then there will be no discord, no problem. तो वैदिक धर्म में स्वामी जी says there was a lot of, at that time when Shankara came, there was a lot of superstition, there was a lot of bigotry, darkness prevailed over everything. Happy in the happy land of rishis and yogis, people were getting distracted, confused. So the once glorious land of the Aryans was in a miserable shape, a lot of pain, a lot of trouble. So such was the state at that time जब शंकराचार्य जी का जन्म हुआ था. And the existence of Vedic Dharma today is because of Shankaracharya ji. The Advait philosophy, Vedanta, is alive today because of Shankaracharya ji, of his extreme efforts. So all the sages and saints, when we say Shankaracharya ji, he was one of the big lights, but everybody who's walking on that journey, aap log bhi, everybody who's spiritually motivated is fulfilling Shankara's mission. We are following that tradition. So he empowered, or he was born in a Brahmin family, very pure Brahmin family. So his father died when he was only 6 years old, and his mother was Aryamma. So एक ही बच्चे थे, एक ही बालक थे, and she loved him very much, but he was very intense in his studies and everything. तो शुरू में उनको संन्यास का feeling आता था at a very young age. But the mother did not want him to take sannyas. So she says, I don't, because you are my only son. So they say one time he was taking a bath, and then a crocodile took him. जो crocodile कल देखी. So a crocodile got hold of him, and Shankara's mother was on the side of the banks, and she was crying for help. My son is about to die. He says, Mata, please give me apatkal sannyas. Apatkal means emergency sannyas, which can be given at the time of death if somebody thinks of it, right? Thinking of it. So otherwise I am going to die. So the mother agreed कि ठीक है, अभी ये भगवान के पास चला जाएगा तो क्या, okay. And as soon as she said yes, the crocodile left him, and he came out. And then so she says, mother is very happy that everything is good. So she says, okay, let us go home. He says, which home? You just gave me sannyas. He walked away. No more going back, no more attachments, this, that, socho. And he was only 15 or 16 at that time, because originally his age was only supposed 32. To be 16 years old originally, but then it was another 16 years was added by Vyasji and his guru Govinda Pada Acharya, all of them. So because इनको बहुत काम करना था, इनको पूरे ये ग्रंथों का भक्ति से लेके logic, from logic to devotion to wisdom, every scripture he has written. Vivek Chudamani we are reading right now is so profound, as we know, and so many other profound scriptures. But he was born and in a poor Brahman family. So when God does these things, when he has a lot of compassion on you, he will make you like Sudama, and you'll struggle in the world, because ऐसा पुल होगा भगवान की शक्ति का कि उसके अलावा फिर कुछ दिखेगा नहीं. तो he was also born like that in Kaladi. It's in South India. They say 6 miles from the east of Alwai. Kaladi is a railway station on the Kochi Sharpur rail link. अभी हम नहीं गए हैं. I want to go to Kaladi, but he is part of the Nabudri Brahmins. And even today the South Brahmins from Nabudri control that Badrinath Dham. That is done by Shankracharya, because he established Badrinath Dham. That's another big thing of the dhams, all the dhams he did. So and Vidyaranya was another big saint that followed that tradition later, and his So we've covered all these things. So Shankara ji went for search of a guru. जब संन्यास के लिए निकल गए तो he met his guru Govinda Pada Acharya ji. तो इसीलिए he has created this scripture called Bhaj Govindam. Bhaj Govindam means chant the name, but he was so smart that he said Govindam, which means it's twice. One for his guru Govindam and the other one for Lord Krishna Govindam. So everybody can then come into that. और वही हम कर रहे हैं. Those of you who are following our group, every time we do 2 shlokas of Bhaj Govindam. And we are almost 1/3 of the way through 2 shlokas. So Shankara, when he prostrated, तो वहाँ से उस समय जो संन्यास का tradition है बहुत कठिन होता था, बहुत तपस्या करना पड़ता था. Even Chinmayanand ji, you know, you say so many of you have seen him, but he was a reporter and he struggled greatly, intensely in the Uttarkashi higher Himalayas, bare feet, taking bath in cold water. Most of us, our bodies will not handle, we will not even be able to be aware कि कितना उस समय difficult होता था journey. But he did that. He prostrated to his teacher's feet, and Govinda asked Shankara, "कौन है? Who is it?" And what did Shankara says? भजको अहंकार चित्तादि ना हम, है ना?
मनोमुद्धि बुद्धि अहंकार चित्तादि ना हम Shivoham, 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 Shivoham.
So he basically created his poem right there for his guru. He says, "O revered guru, I am neither the fire, nor the air, nor the earth, nor the water." अर्थात इन elements में से मैं एक भी नहीं हूँ, क्योंकि हमारा शरीर इन्हीं तत्वों का बना है. Our body is only made of earth, water, fire, air, ether, 5 things. But the immortal Atma that is hidden in all names and forms. So Shivoham, Shivoham. So he also said in the end, I am the son of Shiv Guru, a Brahman of Kerala. My father died in my childhood. I was brought up by my mother and I have studied the Vedas and the Shastras under a teacher. उस समय इनके पास पूरा वेद का ज्ञान हो गया था, only in 5 or 6 years. And it typically takes a lot of time, sometimes a lifetime to learn these things. But so Swami Govinda was very pleased with Shankracharya ji for the truthful narration and his wisdom. इतना बड़ा बड़ा वेदांत उन्होंने अभी दीक्षा से पहले ही मांग लिया कि ये सब तो मेरे पास है, अब मुझे आगे बताओ कि क्या करना है. So having initiated him in the sannyas order, Swami Govinda taught him the philosophy of Advaita. Advaita means non-duality, meaning there is only one Brahman, one God. We are all the rays of that same God. So there is no two in this. Whereas in bhakti there is always two. मैं हूँ और मेरे इष्ट हैं, हम अलग हैं. लेकिन ब्रह्मन में हम meditation में जब deep चले जाते हैं, then we are only one. You merge into, like the ocean merging, river merging into the ocean, it becomes the ocean, one. There is no two. So that's what he learned from his Guruji. Padma Vashishtam, ये जो lineage है पूरी, Shankaracharya ji and his 4 disciples really created the mathas and the philosophical tenets of their Guru. Just like we are taking this knowledge of our Guru, and he got it from his Guru Shivananda, and the lineage continues. तो इसीलिए जो हम सिखाते हैं, जो नई परंपरा के लोग हैं, कि परंपरा से जुड़ो, एक किसी शरीर से नहीं जुड़ो, किसी गुरु से नहीं, जिसके पास पूरा शक्ति हो और कहाँ तक लेके जाए, नारायण तक. ओम नारायणम पद्म भवम वशिष्ठम. तो नारायण, उसके बाद ब्रह्मा जी, उसके बाद वशिष्ठम. शक्तिम च तत्र पुत्र पराशरम च, फिर शक्ति, फिर पराशर मुनि, फिर पराशरम च व्यासम शुकम गौड़पदम महांतम. फिर व्यास जी, फिर शुकदेव जी, फिर गौड़पदम महांतम गोविंद पाद, फिर ये आ गए गोविंदा, फिर श्री शंकराचार्य, फिर शंकराचार्य आ गए. तो the whole lineage is continuing, and then his 4 disciples,
Padmapadacarya ji,
yeah,
Hastmalakacharya ji, and Sureshwaracharya ji.
right. So each of them created a mutt, and these mutts, why they are 4? Because each of them represents one Veda. Rig Ved, Sam Ved, Yajurveda Ved, Atharva Ved. So each of these mathas are specializing in, like our Shringeri mutt, we belong to, like if anybody gets an ass, we get Saraswati. So I'm Swami Nikhilananda and Saraswati, Jyotirmanand Saraswati,
There are some
Shivanand.
Giris, Puris.
Yeah, so there are 10 of them.
So Saraswati is a
Dashnami sannyas.
Yeah, so Dashnami, right.
Sureshwaracharya ji Maharaj.
So this was the story of his initial journey, and he took Govinda Padacharya ji's teachings to everybody, and then one of his disciples was Mandana Mishra. Mandana Mishra, जो बाद में सुरेश्वराचार्य जी बन गए थे, he actually hated sannyasis. He didn't want to do anything with them. He was more about karma yoga, do this, do that, and rituals. They said even his tota, his parrot in his house, used to chant shlokas. Mandana Mishra. But he was very ritualistic. Then, an ugly conversation started when the Brahmins who were present there for dinner interposed and pacified Mandana Mishra. So what happened when he heard Shankara has come, Mandana Mishra was very furious, upset. He did not want him to come, but then they said you have to have a debate. So Shankracharya ji, this is how his Hinduism, Vedanta, Hinduism is a wrong word. We should always say Sanatan Dharma. You know, that's how Sanatan Dharma was protected, and it came back into the light again, and Vedanta came back into the light through Shankaraji's efforts. तो जब वो because ऐसे होता था उस time, जैसे these teachers, these gurus, they would challenge each other for debates, right? So whether they were Buddhist or other people, and they would have a precondition: if I lose or you lose. So if I lose, then I will convert to your religion. If you lose, you all convert. Otherwise, prove. And these debates would go on for days, not for 1 or 2, sometimes days, weeks they would go. And when जब दूसरा निरुत्तर हो जाता था, he could not answer, then they would have to follow the process, and they would all come back. And this is how all these rituals were starting to be. Shankara was removing the veils of these things. One time a Chandala, you know, a Chandala means a low caste, low tribe person, जो ये भील की तरह रहते हैं, गंदे लोग रहते हैं. So one time a Chandala came, and Shankaracharya ji was coming in the back, and by then he had become well known. So everybody started respecting him. Shankaracharya ji Dandvat Pranam karte the. So from and far away. So his chelas, they said, move away to that Chandala, move away, move away. You know, Shankaracharya ji is coming. He says, I want to touch his feet. He says, you know how the devotees take over. So they were trying to tell him, get away. And so then this, when Shankaracharya ji was passing, this Chandala yelled loudly, and he tells to Shankara, who am I and who are you? I may look like a Chandala, but you preach that we have the same Atma, we are the same Brahman, everything is non-dual, and there is only one Brahman. Then how are you treating me like this? Why are you pushing me aside? Shankaracharya ji looked at him, looked at his face. He put his stick down. वो दंडी स्वामी थे. दंडी, उसके बाद ये दंडी स्वामी शुरू होता. He put his stick down and he prostrated to that person, Dandvat, to that Chandal, giving in front of everybody looking, and he held his feet, because he says he got the vision that he was Shankara. That Chandala was Shankara himself, Lord Shiva, who had come in the form of a Chandala to remove this nonsense that people have. कि Brahman galat hai, tum हाथ धो के आओ, tum भाग जाओ, go, run away, or become pure. He says, no, we are all pure, we are all good, but some people are less privileged than others, some are more, so we should look at everybody with some drishti. And that was the knowledge everybody received from him. He says, and then he composed a beautiful poem on that, कि whether it's a Chandala or a Brahman, we are all, in essence, we are all the same, and he is my Guru, because he brought that out. So like Swamiji was saying, Lord Krishna is giving him more and more punishment. ऐसे लगता है, from externally it looks like more punishment, isn't it, to Sudama ji. But inwardly, what is he doing? Full of love and compassion. When is he coming? He has to ask, what can I do? Prarabdha तो कटेगा. तो जो भी आपको आता है कष्ट, whatever difficulties we face, they are coming for a divine purpose. There is a divine reason, and God loves you to the end. So then, this eventually, when that happened, the debate started with Mandan Mishra and his wife also. Her name was Uma Bharati Devi. So she is an avatara of Goddess Saraswati. Ubhay. So there was apparently they say that once Durvasa cursed Saraswati Devi that she will be born, and so she was born like this. And Mandan Mishra's wife, very intellectually advanced personality.
Spiritual.
So then Mandana Mishra agreed that they'll have a debate to see who's better. कि उसका कर्म कांड अच्छा है. कहता तुम तो ये वेदांत का ज्ञान देते रहते हो, but how do you live practically? What should be, questions that generally people ask. He was living those things and giving people ways to be successful in this living. Living is important, and so that was the discussion. So Shankaracharya ji agreed. Terms of the debate were set. What were the terms of the debate? If I lose, Shankaracharya said, I will become a householder and I will marry. मैं सन्यासी नहीं रहूंगा, सब छोड़ दूंगा, शादी करके जीवन बिताऊंगा. सोचो कि कैसा कैसा stakes, what kind of stakes were there. I mean that if my philosophy, if I'm losing, then that means I'm not worth being a sannyasi. I will marry and have kids. But if you lose, you will take sannyasa and you will become my disciple, obviously, because you have lost. You are considering yourself to be God, and you didn't. So they say the debate went on for almost 17 days, 18 days. रोज होती थी. And उसका जज कौन बना? Look at Shankaracharya ji's magnanimity. He made his wife Bharati, Ubhay Bharati को जज बनाया गया. तो जज बना दिया गया, and Ubhay Bharati Saraswati Mata's avatar. So what she did is she put a garland on both of them. जैसे सुग्रीव और उसके किए थे ना. So she put a garland on both of them, said you debate. She would go home and start cooking, cleaning, everything. I don't need to sit watching. You do. She's doing her own thing. And the answer was, whoever flowers will fade away first is going to be defeated. That was her test. Because इसमें कोई ताकि ये partiality नहीं आ जाए कि अपने husband को support किया. और सोचो कि उस समय शंकरा का भी कितना how high thinking he must have had and what faith he must have had in Ubhay Bharati to say कि okay, she will follow the right ethical conduct, that she will not favor. Sure enough, that's what happened. After 18 days he became answerless, Mandan Mishra, क्योंकि after all Shankara is an avatar of Lord Shiva himself, just like Hanumanji. Hanumanji is an avatar of Lord Shiva, and Shankara is a avatar. Yeah, there are all so many of them come, but Shankaraji is well known. So then Mandana Mishra gave up and accepted defeat. So, but Ubhay Bharati came, and she basically said that no, I am his better half. हम अर्धांगिनी है ना, तो हम आधा अंग हम इनका है. तो अभी तुम पूरा नहीं जीते हो. You have not won. You have to now defeat me. You have to defeat me. Only then we will be considering. You will be considered victorious. Otherwise, no. So poor Shankaraji, he says yes, okay, fine, makes sense. उनको logic ठीक लगा कि okay, every god has a half Ardhanarishwar. So what can we do? He agreed, and so Bharati ji and him started debating, and everybody is now watching, and all that stuff is happening. And day after day, because वो तो खुद सरस्वती माता का अवतार हैं, so obviously she has the right skills, knowledge, and she was very powerful. But she also kept getting defeated by Shankara. Saraswati Mata getting defeated by Shankara's logic, and so then she took him to an area that he was not competent in, Shankracharya, which was leading a householder's life.
Oh boy.
Like how do you sleep together? What do you do? How do you have kids?
Kama
Those Kama Shastra. So those kind of questions. But he's a brahmachari, sannyasi, right? So Shankaracharya ji contemplated. He sat down. He says, "Okay, wait. So you're asking me these questions, but I need 1 month's time. It either 1 month or 2 months, whatever the time he asked. He asked for 1 month's time, and then they agreed. Ubhay Bharati समझ गई कि हाँ बात तो सही है, because he doesn't have the experience, but he's asking for 1 month's time. What does that really mean? So she says, yeah, that's fair. He says, otherwise I will accept defeat. Even though that other person has already accepted तो वो मंडन मिश्रा तो बेचारा चुप करके सुन रहा है, he's listening now what he said. Now she has taken over.
He was embarrassed. He was requesting his wife not to put this condition, but she said, "You be quiet." Okay.
So at this point, Ubhay Bharati is now coming up with all this, and he says she agrees to the terms. That's fair. What he's asking is fair.
Yeah.
Give him the required time limit of 1 month. He is now going, and he goes in the forest. He's going. So there is a nearby king. According to Prarabdha, destiny, the king has just died. He died by, I think he had gone hunting and a lion had attacked him, so he had died, and they were thinking of cremating the king or doing whatever something, but it was fresh death.
Fresh body was there.
So he jumped in. Would you like to please add in?
Parkaya Pravesh.
Yeah, you can take. Oh, you know so much also. Please go ahead.
Go
Yeah, go ahead. You
Go
explain.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, you're doing
Sorry.
fine. No, please. You have so much knowledge. Share with others, and then we will conclude also. आपको भी
No, please.
Okay. So basically, then what happens is Ubhay Bharati, the king, he becomes. This is called the transfer of the Atma into somebody else. Yogis can do that.
Yeah.
There are some.
It's a word called Prakaya Pravesh.
Parkaya Pravesh is the technical word. Parkaya means not my body, somebody else's body. Pravesh, getting into it through the subtle body. That's what when you say ये यहाँ पर नहीं है धरती पर, इसका क्या मतलब है? मतलब कि वो ब्रह्मांड में in a cave. Thinking I'll come back after a month. जब भी होगा Parkaya Pravesh, data transfer. 5G to 12G, 12G to same thing. Parkaya Pravesh, then that, but that one will become inert. SIM card is out. Once the SIM card is out, only one phone will work at a time. Do you see the logic?
Yes.
So he came in, he left his body in the cave, and he became the king, fully active. But when he went there, he started doing a lot of good things. All the queens came, he started enjoying household life, but he also brought law, order, good things. वो दूसरा राजा अयाशी था. He was a useless fellow. They're all confused. How come he's changed so much? So much changed. He's talking ethical sense and he's teaching people good things and all that. So, but anyway, the bottom, to keep a long story short, he experienced household life. He did enjoyments. He had queens. So he got all that experience. And after 1 month, he came to the body. But in the meanwhile, what had happened is, when the king's kingdom knew that there was so much change in this king, the priests started to get a little curious, suspicious. They said something is wrong. He cannot be the king. And so therefore, go find a body of a yogi somewhere in the area. No, literally they did. And they said, let's go find that.
And cremate that body.
Yeah, and cremate it and finish it off, because then we will be able to hold him, because he's got so many good qualities, and then we will know what really happened, that he's not the king. So, but in order to prove him wrong, they were looking everywhere. Finally, they found the body. And he's enjoying everything, and nice everything. So as long as, and soon, but by the time Mandan, these Shankracharya's devotees, his close devotees, they also knew कि ऐसे body को ढूंढ रहे हैं ना. So they came to the palace. And they started talking to the king and having discussion with him. After they had this, they could know he is their guru by his answers,
Yes.
everything, by his talks. क्योंकि हम शरीर, that's why we say we are not this body, because this body is just an instrument. अंदर आत्मा में क्या है, वहाँ से क्या निकलेगा? Everything was exactly like. So they knew this is his guru. So that they at that time they told him, we need to get you back into the body because you got a problem.
Yes.
So they secretly told him that, and then he is going and he finds the body, and what they have taken over already. The soldiers had found the body, and they were ready to burn it. They had started to burn it, and he entered Kaya Pravesh. did the reverse order, changed the sim, went back again into his old body, and they say, and the soldiers went away. I think what happened is that उन्होंने कहा कि ये तो जलना शुरू हो गया, this ये साधु है, तो वो छोड़ के चले गए. And immediately at that time, as soon as he entered, his body would have been destroyed. But divine plan, pouring rain came. Pouring rain. उसी समय इतनी बारिश हुई कि सब अग्नि बुझ गई, and all the fire was extinguished. He came out, and he was back in his body. Now he came back to Ubhay Bharati ji again, and he said, "Okay, Bharati ji, I'm here. Let us continue the debate." So now whatever questions she had, he had the answers because he had experienced it. Because he could learn all the Vedas in such a short time. तो सब skills उनके पास थे. उन्हीं शंकराचार्य जी की बात हो रही है जिनका आज उनका ये सब वो है क्या जन्मदिन है. मुख्य जयंती बोलते हैं, उनकी जयंती है कि जय हो, हनुमान जयंती, शंकराचार्य जयंती. तो उनका जन्म दिवस नहीं होता क्योंकि ये दिव्य आत्माएं हैं. ऐसे ही उनका मरण दिवस भी नहीं होता है, वो महासमाधि लेते हैं, है ना. तो इस तरीके से जब वो हुआ, उभय भारती जी हार गई फेयर एंड स्क्वायर. अब वो जब वो हारी तो उन्होंने अपने हाथ से अपने पति को संन्यास दिलाया. तो वही कि तो इसीलिए इस मार्ग पर आने के लिए हम सब सक्षम हैं. वी आर ऑल केपेबल. वेदर यू आर लाइक दैट गर्ल वाज आस्किंग, इफ शी इज ट्रूली क्वालिफाइड एंड रेडी, शी कैन टेक. हमारे सनातन धर्म में देयर इज नो रिस्ट्रिक्शन. ब्रह्मचर्य, गृहस्थ, वानप्रस्थ, संन्यास 4 लेवल्स रहता है. बट each one, but if a soul is very advanced, they can take sannyas early, just like our Guruji did and so many other people did, or Shankracharya, and so younger age में ले लेते थे. But that's what started his journey, and once that happened, obviously इतना बड़ा, when he lost, everybody knew that that's what has happened. So the fame of Shankara grew even more, and people who were following on to these rituals started abandoning them. I'm just trying to take you to the history of how he went through all that. तो इस तरीके से इनका ये इन्होंने फिर सबका कल्याण किया. एक और बात थी कि माता जी के प्रति इनको बहुत प्रेम भाव था, and he was a very traditional sannyasi. You can please tell me the time, Rohit, better, because then we'll conclude.
11:05.
Thank you. So he knew exactly what to do and how to do. So his mother, when she gave him when he came out and he was going to go for sannyas लेके जब जाते थे, तो इनकी माता जी ने इनसे एक promise लिया था, his mother Ariyamma, that you will come for my for my last, during my deathbed you will be there, and my last time you will support me. He said, yes Mataji, I will come. But he hadn't thought of all the implications of that word. क्योंकि normally क्या होता है, and this is back in his birth is disputed. Most people in the English calendar call his birth as 780 AD, and the reality is that it is 500 BC. मतलब the authentic sources say 500 BC, but that's not important for our satsang here, because he is still him. Nobody can change what his qualities and what he did. Even Schopenhauer and all these philosophers lived by Shankara's philosophy. They were so impressed. How can one person accomplish so much in such a short time? And at 32 he's gone. तो उसमें भी उन्होंने एक country को criss-cross करके काफी काम किया था. But anyway, he told his mother, I will come back. And at that time the tradition was that a sannyasi, a dandi sannyasi, is not supposed to touch Agni.
Come back to his family.
Fire को हाथ नहीं लगाएंगे और family के पास भी वापस नहीं आएंगे. मतलब कि जिसको त्याग दिया. Once you belong to the world, you don't belong. So our Gurudev has given such a beautiful and this is a miracle where this is happening, because when I took sannyas, she was crying a lot, thinking I'll be doing the same thing, I'll be gone. But our Guru had taught us, no, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to be so full of love that includes your family and everybody else, but look at them as the same. I don't look at her as my physical sister or the body. She's a sannyasi, I am a sannyasi, so why not have everybody? जो भी उसमें आता है, ये रोहित भी, जैसे ये हमारा बेटा है, ऐसे ही आपका बेटा भी हमारा बेटा है, सबके लिए वही प्यार है. So there is no such thing, and my daughters are also now understanding. It was hard for them to grasp this concept, but they are getting it, they are understanding it, and that is phenomenal. So that is special from our
Guru's grace.
Gurudev's grace, that because you cannot hate somebody or cannot give up something, you have to be all inclusive on this path. Even though you have nothing, you still give everything. क्योंकि ज्ञान यज्ञ से बढ़कर दान कुछ नहीं है. चाहे आप धन दो, चाहे फैसिलिटीज दो, ये दो, लेकिन जो एक बार ही हमारा ज्ञान का मार्ग खुल जाता है, when we open the eyes and we get that enlightenment, nothing can be given, nothing at all. Whatever these dollars, this, that, conveniences, that's a grace of God, comforts. That Goddess Lakshmi, Ma Annapurna is taking care of us. But we are all instruments, and we all become instruments, and everything helps. That's why they say eating Swamiji's Uchisht Bhojan is highly beneficial. We have benefited from that personally, I can tell you. So here Shankara had basically told his mother, I will come back. तो ऐसे ही करते करते काफ़ी साल बीत गए. And Shankara ji in the meanwhile had 4 of his disciples, as Swami ji, Divyananda ji was saying, Sureshwaracharya, Padmapada, Hastamalaka, Trotakacharya. These 4 were very devoted, and one of them started managing each of the mathas. They are the first gurus. Sureshwaracharya ji is our Shankara Sringeri Math ke. So Totakacharya ji was in Joshi Math. इस तरीके से ऋग्वेद, सामवेद, यजुर्वेद, अथर्ववेद पूरा कंट्रोल कर लिया और अभी तक चल रहा है, अभी तक. और कहाँ से 500 BC से एक शंकराचार्य is for life, and as soon as he goes, another one comes in. जैसे दीपक, अखंड दीपक जलता है, इस तरीके से ये अखंड दीपक चल रहा है. तो उनको जब आभास हुआ, when he realized that my mother is now going to pass away, he was, God by then, just like our Guru. He had done everything at a very young age, सब कुछ करके भी. He used to say Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya, but all the time he was writing, giving knowledge, giving lectures, converting, giving guidance and bringing Sanatan Dharma philosophy back. Because Sanatan is timeless, Dharma is ethical living, it applies to everybody. It's not a dogmatic view of my religion, this, that. It's everything open. तो ऐसा ही उन्होंने सबको दिया. फिर उनको जब माता जी का ध्यान आया तो माता जी के पास आए. He took the trip, he came. और बीच में एक बारी उनको ध्यान आया. In his vision, he saw his mother नीचे से गंगा जाती थी. तो माता बूढ़ी हो रही थी. तो उनको नीचे जाना पड़ता था. बाल्टी भरती थी, मटका भरती थी. उस समय ये तो था नहीं फ्रिज वगैरह. We didn't have these comforts, so she would fill up the water and bring it up. It was a little uphill. She would have to come, and it was a little bit far because it was about 100-200 feet away, for her to go and get it. So Shankara saw this and he focused on Ganga Ma. That मेरी माँ को थोड़ा दुख होता है. And they say that next day the Ganga turned and came right outside his mother's, where she could just pick it up like this. Imagine. और ये होता है. और ऐसे ही उन्होंने फिर अपने गुरु के लिए भी, गौड़ा पादाचार्य जी के लिए, he would always have गोविंदा पादाचार्य. गौड़ा पादा उनके गुरु थे. जैसे हमारे गुरु ज्योतिर्मानंद जी, उनके गुरु शिवानंद जी. तो गौड़ा पादा उनके परम गुरु थे और गोविंदा पादा उनके गुरु थे. तो तब वो बूढ़े हो गए थे. क्योंकि इन्होंने बहुत प्रचार किया. He was traveling everywhere in all the regions, everything. Then he realized, okay, my guru is old, what should I do? So he was still living. These gurus are very traditional, old age maybe, they didn't want anything, didn't do anything. So as a special thank you to his guru, he created that kund, that jo tapt kund hai वहाँ पे बद्रीनाथ में. वो Shankracharya ji has created that. So his guru could take a hot shower, and इतना cold है सब जगह, ताकि उनका थोड़ा वो हो. वहीं से वो मूर्ति भी निकली थी जो
मंदिर में स्थापित है.
It was Shankara's. These are all, see, when we don't think of this, but when you go deeper into it, you see how much depth there is in all this. So that's what he did. But when he came to his mother, this time his mother was going to pass away. So she saw Shankara, she was very happy. She was alive. So for a few days more they interacted, and he was there. But when she was going to pass, Shankara was meditating, her mother is there, and as soon as her time was coming, because he's a Shiva himself, Shiva devotee, all the Ganas came to get her and to take her to Kailash and to give her mukti. So, but when that happened, she got scared, क्योंकि Ganas का तो किसी किसी का 3 आँख, किसी का 2 सिर, किसी का कुछ. They looked scary. So he saw the fearful factor. She clutched his arms and she said no, meaning I don't want to go there. Immediately Shankara meditated again, and all the Vishnu Parshads, all those ganas converted into beautiful, holy, divine angels.
beings.
Like Vishnu. Vishnu Parshads look just like Vishnu. The only difference is they don't wear costume money. वो नहीं होती. बाकी उनके पास शंख चक्र गदा पद्म आप देखोगे आपको लगेगा विष्णु भगवान लेने आए हैं. तो इसीलिए कोई जब many people when they die you see a gentle smile on their face. They don't have any feeling of pain, problems, because if they've lived such a good life, then there is no hell for them, there is no death per se. It's all joyful and it's such a blessed journey, like you are in a beautiful dream. ऐसा ही होता है. So that's what he did for his mother immediately, because and Govinda was also his guru, Krishna. So with that feeling she came in his life and they went together. She passed away. But right after that kya hua, now he had to cremate her, and there was a lot of anger in the sannyasi community. Even after all this that he had achieved, imagine, and this is to, I guess, to deflate the ego, and sometimes God tests you in so many different ways. जैसे भगवान खुद ज़्यादा कष्ट भोगते हैं, तो कोई नहीं आया. Everybody and the sannyasis told him, you are a phony sannyasi. Because if what kind of attachment is this? You are coming back to your mother and you want to cremate her. Who does that? Sannyasis don't do that. She is nobody anymore. Shankara said no. So imagine the guts and the courage. He gave up whole sannyasi.
The promise was a promise.
To promise that he had given to his mother, and then not even his own relatives came. सुख में सुमिरन सब करे, दुख में करे तो फिर दुख में सुमिरन सब करे.
सुख के सब साथी दुख में न कोई.
आप बोलो, अभी फेसबुक पे आपके thousands of friends हैं, किसी से पैसा मांग के देखो सब भाग जाएंगे, या किसी का मदद मांग के देखो. तो वही, you don't need many people in your life, you just need one guru, hold his feet and you are done. बस काम खत्म. उसके अंदर ही सब कुछ मिलेगा, सब कुछ मिलेगा. Everything will be there. So that's what he did. Now he didn't know what to do. So some people say he cut his own hut. अपना लकड़ी वहीं से, अपना लकड़ी का झोपड़ी का घर था, उसी को काटा, और कोई शमशान की कोई भूमि नहीं देगा. Nobody will let her in. So in his own backyard, in his own mother's backyard, they say they severed the parts of the body, because you cannot drag the body and he could not carry her. So basically slowly they say he cut her, because he was Brahm. तो body को काटना तो आत्मा तो अलग है, body तो
आत्मा तो गई.
तो वो काट के उन्होंने उनको पीछे बरी किया. और उसके बाद वो कहते हैं, उसके बाद जब शंकराचार्य जी का नाम हुआ, वो हुआ the Nambudri family. All these there is still this tradition in Kaladi that when somebody dies they sever the parts and they put it in their backyard even today, because वो कहते हैं उस बात का पश्चाताप वो कर रहे हैं कि हमसे कितना भारी गलती हुआ. Like we committed such a big mistake, and now as a penance, as a tapasya, we will all do this as a tradition, and that's why one of the Nambudri is chosen there, to come in the Shankara family. So with this, that was his glory, that was his grace, and that was the courage, radical thinking. So every time we will have to go through changes. अभी क्या है कि जैसे it's humanity. We don't have to necessarily speak just Sanskrit or Hindi. Idea is to touch the heart, emotions, look at everybody as a soul. हर एक के अंदर आत्मा है और हर एक किसी को मृत्यु होगा. So we all have to look at it from that point and take his teachings, imbibe them to our hearts, and so many things he has done that we cannot give him enough thank you. So these are the 10 organizations. Sankara organized 10 definite orders of sannyasis. इसीलिए उनको दशनामी जो बोला जाता है, उसमें ये है important कि सरस्वती, भारती, पुरी, ये तो होते हैं ये श्रृंगेरी मठ में. तो like we are सरस्वती, स्वामी शिवानंद सरस्वती, कुछ भारती और पुरी, और तीर्थ और आश्रमा द्वारका मठ के, जैसे स्वामी राम तीर्थ, he was from the द्वारका मठ. And then गिरी, पर्वता and सागर, ये जोशी मठ के होते हैं. और वन and aranya, विद्या aranya and one, they are from the Govardhan Math. So this is such an organized process he set up back then when there was total chaos in the country. People didn't know what to do, how to ask, what to do. तो ऐसा ऐसा करके इन्होंने कल्याण किया है. और इनकी फिलॉसफी पढ़ लेते हैं थोड़ा सा, बिकॉज वी आर गेटिंग close to our time. So what time is it now?
It's 11:15.
Okay, so Shankara wrote bhashyas or commentaries on the Brahma Sutras,
11:20.
Upanishads and the Gita. तो सब पे उन्होंने ये commentaries करी है और इतनी deep है. So and our Guruji has explained it. So as you go deeper into your sadhana, you should start reading some of Swamiji's books, because जो हम सत्संग करते हैं that is only a drop in the bucket. जो Sri Ram ji करते हैं very little, because you are not doing it every day. So to connect with that energy, you should read his. You can take some of his books,
Yes.
Mysticism of Ramayana, Mysticism of Mahabharata. Whenever we use the word mysticism, that means कि वो कहानी इतिहास नहीं समझो उसको. उसके पीछे आपके लिए, आपके उद्धार के लिए क्या उत्तम है. What is good for your evolution? What is Rama? Who is Rama? Who is Bharata? Who is Vibhishana? Who is Sita Mata? All these things are explained in a very beautiful way. And then ये जो हम सोचते हैं कि why did Ram do this? Why did he abandon Sita? Well, that is not a good act. All these things are explained very beautifully by Swamiji, and then you will understand. फिर आप और लोगों को समझाने के लिए भी काबिल हो जाओगे. Because अभी हम खुद भी हिल जाते हैं. अगर if we don't know, we will also sway away. But if you know, you will guide people. And that's what is our goal, कि हम सब एक जलती हुई दिव्य आत्मा की तरह दीपक बन जाएं और वो दीपक सब जगह पहुंचे. So that is the thing he did. So the bhashya on the Brahma Sutra is called Sharirik Bhashya. ये इन्होंने ब्रह्म सूत्र पे भाष्य किया. It's a very, and he would speak Sanskrit obviously very fluently, but he also wrote commentaries on Sajat Sujiyata and Vishnu Sahasranam. Vishnu Sahasranam मतलब 1000 names of Vishnu. Shankracharya ji has explained. Sanat Sujatiyata is those 4 saints जिनको हम बोलते हैं सनत कुमार, है ना, सनत सनंदन. तो ये 4 को ये इन्होंने ज्ञान दिया था. दशरथ उनको धृतराष्ट्र को, उसको सनत से जाता है, उसके बारे में इन्होंने लिखा है. Then he wrote so many beautiful things. Vivek Chudamani, of course we know Sri Ram ji, we are working on that. But आत्मबोध है उनका. फिर अपरोक्ष अनुभूति, मतलब how do you find connection with God. He has given you every single tool जो आपको चाहिए. आनंद लहरी, आत्मा अनात्मा विवेक, दृक् दृश्य विवेक, उपदेश सहस्रई. So many things he has done. If all we do is take a few, and भज गोविंदम तो आप हम कर ही रहे हैं आपके साथ. So he has done innumerable works, but it is all full of sweetness, melody and knowledge. ज्ञान यज्ञ भी होता है, भक्ति भी होता है, सब तरीके से. तो वो निर्गुण से सगुण और सगुण से निर्गुण, आप जानते ही हैं कि उनकी ये फिलॉसफी है. तो उनकी जो उनको हम सब दंडवत प्रणाम करें, शंकराचार्य जी को, अपने गुरु जी को और ब्रह्मन को, भगवान को, कि हम सब आत्माएं हैं. हम ये शरीर जो भी जुड़ा है, आपका शारीरिक स्वास्थ्य प्राप्त हो इस शुभ दिन में, और जो आपको तकलीफ है वो भगवान दूर करें, ताकि आपकी उन आत्मा की उन्नति का उद्धार हो. मे वी ऑल बेनिफिट फ्रॉम दिस प्रेयर, मे द यूनिवर्स बेनिफिट, एंड वी ऑफर इट टू लॉर्ड शंकराचार्य जी, whose grace has given us this opportunity to be at the holy feet of our divine master Swami Jyotirmayananda ji Maharaj, that we are enjoying this beautiful moment in his holy ashram. And thank you to each one of you as we conclude our satsang for today. May God bless everybody. Let us conclude with Om Triambakam and some mantras.
Om Triambakam Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivarnam Urvarukme Vandana Mrityor Mokshe Mamritat. Om
Sarvesham Swasti Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Akashit Dukkha Bhavet, Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityurma Gamaya. Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahe, Tejasvinavadhitamastu मास्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्ण